Hey teachers, I'm so excited to be here with you today. If you don't know me, my name is Kelsey and I am the owner and founder of wifeteachermommy.com. I run this website full-time and I also am a mom to my 3 kids, Parker, who is 6, Brielle, who is 3, and Peter, who is 7 months old. So today, I am also doing this presentation with you about subplanning made simple. And this is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And you might be thinking, what is wrong with this lady? Like, how could subplans be anybody's favorite topic? Like, everybody hates subplans. Well, I don't hate subplans, and here's why. Here at Wife Teacher Mommy, we have figured out how to make subplanning simple. So I'm excited to share that with you today. So let's get right into this. Having subplans right now is more important than ever. In case you didn't know, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and that means that nobody wants your germs, my friend. If you are sick at all, you are not going into school. Before COVID-19, many teachers chose to just tough it out instead of going in sick, because teaching is the only profession where you have to do more work to call in sick than if you just suffered through it, right? Well, that's definitely true if you don't plan ahead of time, because if you don't plan ahead of time, you will be trying to run in maybe with a sick kid, trying to get your subplans ready, or you're in bed and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling good, but I need to write subplans. I just don't want to. I'm just going to go in sick. That's the easier choice, right? If you're not prepared ahead of time. But now that we're here in COVID-19, toughing out is not going to fly anymore. You might have seen this go viral, these CDC guidelines for reopening schools. Now, I know this meme is not completely accurate, but what I do know is that there are going to be a lot of changes to schools next year. Kids are going to be expected to not come sick, so are teachers, staff, everybody. And that means that you are going to want to be prepared before the school year begins with your subplans. So if you get sick, you won't have to stress so much about calling in. Because the truth is, it was never the best decision to just tough it out and not go in anyway. It was never the best decision to not have your subplans prepared. And here's why. When you go in to teach while you're sick, you are spreading your germs around your students and coworkers. Okay, and you know that, we all know that, but we just did it anyway, right? But you're also not giving yourself time to heal. So if you are sick and you go in to teach, you're not taking the time to heal yourself, so it's going to take even longer to get better. You are also less productive for a longer period of time because, like I said, you're going in, you're extending the amount of time you're sick, you're using your energy to work instead of get better. And you are burning yourself out. So long term, by going into work sick, you are causing yourself a lot of problems. But the problem is we hate subplanning, right? So we avoid it. We're just like, I will do that later. Subplanning gets a really bad reputation. So when I asked in my Facebook group how teachers would feel if they never had to write subplans again, here's what some people had to say. Said, I died and went to heaven. They're an added stress to a day off, especially if it's an emergency day off, right? I might consider not going to work questionably sick because the thought of making subplans is worse than toughing out the day. I've gone days with sunglasses on because of migraines, ice packs for medical procedures, all of it. And to not do subplans, it would be an amazing feeling, especially on those days where a little one wakes up in the middle of the night sick and you're trying to tend to them plus do subplans. Yeah, as a parent, if you're a parent, it's so much more work to call in. And I think I missed one here. Sorry about that, guys. So she would also feel like I could actually rest and take care of myself without feeling guilty or unsure that what I quickly planned in the heat of the moment was good enough, right? Because when you're quickly planning, you might be worried that the content might not be good enough. Okay, so here's a perspective from a substitute. So former teacher, current sub here, and nothing is worse than studying in a class with incomplete or missing subplans. I know as a teacher how long subplans take to make. As a sub, good lesson plans can make or break your day. I would love to have a backup set of lesson plans in my sub bag because, a lot of teachers aren't leaving them. Being a substitute in the past, I love the idea of this. When teachers have things organized and easy to understand, it makes the subs job so much easier. So if you might, we're going to talk about this a bit later, but if you want subs to be happy to come to your classroom, definitely have those subplans. And then remember, so the question is, how would you feel if you didn't have to do subplans? Free to take off for family members, myself, and personal circumstances without feeling burdened by extra work. And then another teacher said she would not take a day off so she didn't have to do her subplans. She would feel relieved if she didn't have to do that again. So there's some passionate feelings right here. I think as teachers and all the other roles we have, so we may be like, you know, a spouse or a parent or a grandparent or, you know, a community member. It's hard to make time for subplans on top of all the other things going on in our lives. But you guys, because we have so many things going on, is the exact reason why you need your subplans. That's why it is so important, because when you need to take a day off, then you won't burn yourself out, so you can keep on doing all those things. So let's learn how to get started and how it might not be as bad as you think. So there are two main components to your subplans that we're going to talk about. You've got your sub binder and your subplans. These are two different things in my terminology, so I'm going to explain the difference. So the sub binder will tell you the information that your sub needs to know about how to run your classroom at your sub's fingertips. So these are things like your school schedule, information about your class, about your students, your procedures, your classroom management, stuff like that. What you'll want to include in your sub binder. Here's a list of things you'll want to include. Basically, anything that your sub would want to know for a successful day, you'll want to include in that binder. Some things you will for sure want to include are a seating chart, because that makes it easy for the sub to be able to call on kids as needed. Different management procedures. And then leaving a note form for your sub to fill out at the end of the day is very helpful, because then you can know how the day went. So that is a very good thing to include in your sub binder. So our editable sub binder covers all the things listed on that page. So there's no guesswork. All you have to do is fill it out. Everything is there. Thousands of teachers have used this sub binder in their classrooms. It has a drag and drop seating chart. You can just fill in your own schedules. It's super easy and it's super cute. Teachers get so many compliments when they use this binder from their subs, and subs will want to keep coming back to your classroom if you have this ready ahead of time. Here are some extra details you may want to consider, especially if you may be taking a longer term absence, such as maternity leave or other FMLA or extended illness. So classroom tour with pictures, so like your sub can know where to find things in your classroom. Student profiles can give a quick snapshot of your students. Cheat sheets by subject will kind of tell a little bit about how you run each thing. So like say like you have a cheat sheet for your math centers, stuff like that. A scope and sequence will give a big overview of what you'll be going over during the school year. So if you have to step out for like a longer period of time, your sub will know what's going on. And then planning pages for your sub to jump in and do some of their own planning, because if you get a long-term sub, don't feel like you have to plan out the entire absence. That is why their job as substitute teacher is to do some of the planning and teaching themselves. And this is for a longer-term absence. Class jobs, they'll want to know about that, centers info, all the passwords, etc. Just stuff that they would need to know if they're in your classroom for a longer period of time. Now, if you want all of these extra sections covered too, be sure to check out our complete sub binder bundle. This has that short-term binder I already showed you, and then it has our long-term binder that has all the sections I just talked about and more. So if you have all this, it's just plug and play. You can put it in the two different binders like shown in the pictures, or just put it all together in one larger binder. And you can even mix and match as needed. We have blank pages, so you can add your own sections as well. Thousands of teachers have used these and loved them. For maternity leave, for everyday absences, whatever you need. And then be sure to grab our Subbinder freebie to help you get started. This will cover some basic info such as your classroom info, your class list. You'll get that sub binder cover. It'll help you get your sub binder started. So be sure to grab that. Next, let's talk about your sub plans. So this is what most people think of when they think of sub planning. This is the actual content that your students will be doing and the sub will be teaching during the time. So any lessons, directions, worksheets, and materials, everything ready to go. So I like to include a simple lesson plans with our sub plans. So substitute teachers can teach. You don't need to leave just busy work. They can still learn or do review material where there's actual meaningful learning going on. But they should be simple. Remember, a sub is coming in last minute. They don't have time to read through a ton of stuff. So just like a simple overview of what to do. So you can see in the pictures here, it's not very long. It's pretty quick and easy for a sub to look over. Usually what we do is have like some time for silent reading for the kids. If, you know, so this is for upper elementary, if they're older, or like a journal prompt or something. So the sub can quickly look through the lesson plan so they know what's going on that day while the students are otherwise engaged. Here's some more examples of simple lesson plans. So you can see it's just short. There's room for notes so the sub can write about like how it went. These are included in the downloads. The good news is, if you want even more than is included in those freebies, we have so many options of highly rated, ready-to-go subplans that thousands of teachers have purchased and used in their classrooms. We currently have these for pre-K through 6th grades as of June 2020, but we are also working our way up through 7 through 12 as well. We want every teacher to be able to have subplans that are ready to go because we believe this is so important. So our original subplans are available for all subjects in pre-K through 6th grades. So this has all of them combined in one bundle. So you have your language arts, reading, writing, math, science, social studies. There's even brain breaks in art. Everything is covered. The bundles will cover a minimum of 5 days, but most teachers say they have lots of extra, so it covers even longer. Then we have our departmentalized subplans. These are where we took the content from those ready-to-go subplans and divided them by subject. We did these because we had a lot of requests for teachers who were departmentalized, or they do dual immersion, or where they only need a certain subject. So we do have that available as well. Then we even have special bundles available for special education teachers and substitute teachers. So if you're a special education teacher, you can grab our special education bundle, which includes content for a variety of grade levels. So you can meet all your students wherever they are at. We also have the substitute teacher bundle that has all the elementary grades. So if you are a sub, you have a full day and even extra materials. So you don't need to worry about, oh no, what if I'm not left with subplans? You are ready for that incident. Then we also have monthly themed math and language arts subplans, or you can grab them together in a bundle. These are so much fun because they include fun and engaging monthly themes. You can have these ready each month, and then if you don't end up needing a sub, you have ready-to-go activities for you to use when you have extra time. You can also grab individual months. So like if you know there's a month you're going to need quite a few sub days, be sure you can grab the subplans for just that month, or you can grab the whole year in a bundle. We even have maternity leave themed subplans. These are modeled after our ready-to-go subplans, but they are all baby themed, and they are so adorable. These activities are so much fun. So if you will be planning a maternity leave anytime soon, be sure to check out our maternity leave subplans. So let's talk about organizing subplans. Our favorite method for organizing subplans is the sub tub. That way you can have all your copies ready, so the sub just has to pull them out. We also like keeping our master copies in a binder, because if all the copies are taken out and used, then you have your master that you can go take back to the copier to refill your subtub. So be sure to keep your subtub labeled and easy to see for the sub. If it's hidden up in a cabinet, they may not be able to know where it is. So you could even like put a page that says subtub in here. Because if you're called in last minute, you don't want to have to go into the classroom to go get your subtub and put it on your desk. Make sure it's somewhere that your sub can find it. The other thing you could do if it is like hidden up in a cabinet or something is have the sub binder always on your desk, easy to find. And the sub binder can tell the sub where the sub tub is located. That's great for an extra measure. Okay, so let's review again. The two main components you'll want for your subplans are your sub binder, which is the info for your substitute, and then the subplans, which are lessons and content. Together with both of these, you'll be completely prepared for a substitute teacher. Here are some other things to keep in mind when you are subplanning. So you might want to have some books on hand. Read-alouds are great for when there's extra time. Preparing your class for a sub. That's just letting them know ahead of time and preparing them for that substitute to come in. So we will talk about that. And then getting subs to want to keep coming back to your class. So let's talk about these three things. So first, I'm going to go over some of my favorite substitute teacher books. Now, you can have any book for a read aloud, but I think it's kind of fun to have books that are actually about a substitute teacher. It's perfect for the occurrence when you have a substitute teacher in your classroom. So some of my favorite titles are Miss Nelson is Missing, Substitute Creature, Jasmine and the Substitute Teacher, Substitute Teacher Plans, and then for a chapter book option, My Teacher is an Alien. You could do that if you have a sub regularly coming in for any reason. Like say you're pregnant and you have like maternity leave appointments or something. It could be fun to have an ongoing chapter book. And you can read more about each of these books. We have a blog post called Fantastic Substitute Teacher Books at wifeteachermommy.com, totally free. Go check it out, and we have a list of those books there with more info about them. Now, how to deal with this sub shortage. I know this is something a lot of teachers have expressed, that they have a hard time getting subs in their classroom. Now, while I can't do anything about the number of subs that might be available, I can give you tips to help substitutes prioritize your classroom. So the first ways you can do this is just by doing the things we've already talked about. I showed you before how subs felt like when they didn't have plans, they're super stressed. But when they do have plans, they're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. If they know you have that, they will want to keep coming back to you. And then the other thing is preparing your class ahead of time for how to behave for a substitute. If you have a well-behaved class, then they are more likely to want to come back to your class. So one way you can do that is by having special management procedures in place for when you have a substitute come in. One thing we like is substitute punch cards. We have these available for you to download for free. So all you need to do is print those out, have them available, and then you can have the sub punch however you would like. You can have it be like a punch per sub day, or you can have the subs punch as much as you like, and then you choose what the reward is when they fill up a punch card. Another thing to do is keep track of your subs. So when you have a sub, keep a list of your subs that you've had, and then you can give them the chance to take a job before putting it into your district sub binder system. We have this covered for you with a freebie as well. So be sure to download our substitute teacher list. There are a few different options. You can put their phone number, you can put their sub ID, or both, along with their name, of course. Another thing to do is to thank them. Everyone likes to be appreciated. So be sure to download your thank you cards. These are available to you for free, and then leave them for your sub, possibly with a treat, because that will just make them feel appreciated and make them more likely to come back to your classroom. Okay, so here's your checklist for your sub plans. So first, you want to prepare a sub binder with all the information about your class. Second, prepare a sub tub with teaching materials that are printed, copied, and ready to go. Third, have some read alouds on hand to have as time fillers. And then four, consider thank you notes and substitute punch cards. And this is so important to do and not put it off, because health matters. We've been taking initiatives globally to decrease the spread of COVID-19. So we know from this that your health and the health of those around you, it matters. Like if we go in sick, that's undermining all these efforts that we've been making globally. Nobody wants your germs, right? There's no excuse for toughing it out while sick next year. While there may have been an excuse in the past, that is in the past. So when you go in sick, remember, you're not only not there for your students, but you won't even be able to show up for others in your life as well either, because it'll take you longer to recover. You'll be burned out. In the long run, if you take a day or two to recover, you'll feel better sooner. Your family will have more of you available when you're at home, and your students will as well. It'll be so much more beneficial to everybody than if you just toughed it out. The number one reason, though, you owe it to yourself. We have to be willing to put ourselves first sometimes. So if you're sick, you need to be able to just say, I'm sick, I need to recover, I need to take care of myself. It's not selfish, because like we said, it's going to help everybody else too by taking care of yourself first. And this even is the case for mental health days. I am an advocate for mental health days. If you look at that image there, you can see I posted that on Instagram a while back, and it had over 1,200 likes on it. This resonated with a lot of teachers. Our mental health is important. So if you need to take a day off, whether it's for your physical health or your mental health, your health period matters. So that's why you need your subplans. So the procrastination needs to start now. Make the choice now to get your subplans started. So when the decision comes, whether to call in sick or not, the answer is an easy yes. I am ready. I am taking my sick day, and it's not even going to be stressful. I am going to rest and recover. If you want to make getting your subplans easier, grab our highly rated subplanning resources. Remember, we have those sub binders and ready to go subplans on hand for teachers like you, because we have a passion for helping you to be able to take those sick days, to take those mental health days, to help your kids when they're sick. It shouldn't be a stressful situation for you to call in sick, and that's why we're here for you. So be sure to check those out at wifeteachermommy.com. Okay, that is it for today, my friends, but I would love for you to connect with me and for you to learn more. So be sure to download all those free resources we have available. Since we've been working on subplanning for so long, we have so many freebies available. So be sure to go and download those. For more blog posts and resources on subplanning, remember, we have tons. Visit our website at wifeteachermommy.com. We also have a Facebook group, Wife Teacher Mommies Unite, which is a great place for us all to connect and share. It's not grade level specific, so teachers of all grades and contents come together and share what they know, and we all have something to share. And then lastly, but not least, be sure to follow along on Instagram at Wife Teacher Mommy. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I hope that it gives you the tools that you need to get your subplans started so you can take the time off that you deserve, so that you can be ready for next school year. I'm so excited for you that you'll be able to get those subplans ready and not have to stress about subplans anymore. Thank you.